And then 3, 2, 1, now. Intro. What's going on, everybody? Oh, we all butchered that already. I was just giving us a little intro.
I'm going to keep that in the intro.
Intro. In my mind, I was meant to say in my mind, but it came out. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of your only podcast you need. It is Popcorn Punchups. Bom. We've had Lawson has taken 2, and we've had 2 draws now. 2 draws.
Yeah, we have actually.
No, I've won 1.
You've won 1. Yep, I won the first 2. You won episode 3, and then we had 2 draws in a row.
2 draws, and it is obviously best of 7. So depending on how this week goes, if we get another draw, then we have to do a count back from memory, don't we?
If we get another draw, it depends. If we get another draw and then you win, then it's count back. If I win this week, then I win, and if you win this week, we go into a tiebreaker.
Yep, and the loser has to watch whatever the winner tells them to. So it was going to be the most art housey thing ever if Lawson wins.
Yeah, I'm tossing up.
It's going to be the most action-packed peak Marvel cinema that I can find. I was actually thinking I don't think I'm going to win, but I was like, I'm going to make you watch Half Past Dead. But then I was like, no, this is my chance to finally get you into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, but if I watch Endgame, for example, I'm not going to like it because I had no context. So don't you want me to like it?
Do. Means we've got to start with the original Avengers. I got lots to win.
I seen the first Avengers. I watched that when it came out at the movies. I got free tickets for the premiere.
Really?
But I didn't watch anything since.
Cool. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good to know. We need to keep that in here. What have you been doing this week, bro?
I've been playing a lot of Fallout London. Shit's good.
That's come out. That came out ages ago.
Came out last July, but it was really buggy at first. There was a few errors. People weren't happy with it, and I just found it. The barrier of entry was too great. I didn't really want to get into it because it just was stressful. But now it's all ironed out, and it's so perfect. It's so good. It's so well made. Okay. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, that's just a community-made mod, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's huge. I can't believe how big it is, and the voice acting is really high quality. There's different enemies and characters, and yeah. I'm only 10 hours in. Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't have stopped playing it tonight if it wasn't for this. You know what I mean? It's just, it's everything. I love Fallout, and it feels like a new sequel. It's great.
Nice. That's
cool. You, man?
That's cool.
Lots of sport.
Lots of sport, coaching, lots. So we have now today finished my son's basketball comp, and then we have a carnival next week to wrap that up. But football's training started, and then school basketball starts on Monday, and then we'll have soccer, and then we'll have football, and it keeps on rolling, baby. You know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
It is Reimann coaching time. Yeah. Look, I do enjoy it. It's I'm going to sit there and I'm good at it. But then I'll if I'm not doing it, I'll sit there and I'll be like, come on, you should be doing this. So whatever.
Yeah. So you're putting your money where your mouth is.
Yep. So yeah, we did pretty well. I think in the carnival, we're playing every other team in 10-minute games. I reckon we'll do pretty good. We only lost 1 this season, so
okay,
that's pretty good.
Damn, not bad at all.
Yeah, but there has been a number of big things that have also happened. I got access to Assassin's Creed early because of my partnership with Ubisoft. So I've only had the chance to record 1 permadeath run. So I decided I'm going to do a permadeath run. I don't know why, just because I want a little bit of stress. I love the cortisol coming in rather than just bashing my way through things. So I was like, yeah, whatever, let's go. I gotta say, so far I'm enjoying it.
Have you died yet?
No.
Okay.
No. I played 20 minutes, so the tutorial. If I died in this tutorial, I'd be a little bit sad.
Yeah.
It's a quick series, so but it's so far I'm impressed with it, and I have been grinding Marvel Rivals. I am now Plat 1, baby.
Let's go.
Diamond, high elos. Yep. Who would have thought I'd be in these hero shooters?
Yeah, considering how much you hated Overwatch and it's the same game, I didn't expect you to enjoy this much, but I'm mad about it. Also,
Overwatch has just released 6v6, and there's a new hero coming as well.
Oh, there was a new hero a while ago I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah, but there's another new hero about to release.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh my god, 6v6 is virtually identical to Marvel Rivals.
I mean, Overwatch 1 was 6v6.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like, it's not getting any traction. So I was on like X or whatever it's called now, Twitter, whatever. Yeah, and then people were just like bashing anyone who posted about Overwatch. It was insane.
People need to calm down. It's okay to like what you like. I don't like people who are so defensive over Marvel Rivals being it's not as good as Overwatch, and people need to stop supporting. Like I heard someone say that people need to stop supporting like a duplicate game, just play the original. I think Marvel Rivals is kind of better in some ways.
And it's got heroes. Heroes are annoying.
And it's got heroes.
And like they've got so much lore, so much characters.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't have to redesign anything. They're like, here's a pre-existing character. This is their moveset. How do we make it into the game? Like it's easy work for them as well.
I really like all the little, you got like comics to collect, and they've got the little board game thing that you can roll the dice on and unlock stuff. And I like being able to unlock skins and other bits and pieces without having to pay as well. Like I like when Overwatch brought loot boxes back, because in Overwatch 1 there was loot boxes. And they brought it back in Overwatch 2, but only after Rivals came out.
Yeah, right.
Like that's the sort of shit that we want. We want free stuff. We want to be able to play the game without having to put dollars into it.
Yep. I mean, if you have the battle pass and then you do all the missions, you can then exchange the purple chrono tokens for the blue ones, and then you can unlock all the skins as well.
Exactly. So, yeah. That's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to getting the cloak and dagger one, so I'm pretty
the pimp
close
one.
to.
It's a good one. It's pretty cool.
It's a good one. Yeah.
I'd buy the new Spider-Man one, even though I'm never ever going to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
cool.
It's cool. People are like, why is Spider-Man getting like all these legendary skins? And people are like, Spider-Man is pretty much the face of Marvel. Like he's one of the biggest characters. Like the popular characters. Like let him go. Like,
and he's got some really cool like lore and history and skins, and that's why like the Spider-Man games there was like 50 different skins you could do and stuff. Yeah, there's so much.
If they get the Scarlet Spider-Man skin, I'm gonna be a Spider-Man man.
And look this up.
Scarlet Spider-Man is Ben Reilly, so he's the clone. So in
with
the clone
blue
saga,
shirt.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that storyline. I love the clone saga and the two, so Peter Parker and then Ben Reilly, and they're just the two differences. Yeah.
Take your word for it. I have no idea what referencing, but
it's the clone saga. I loved it. I actually had those comics as a kid, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
And that's why this will be doing so well for so long. Is they've, like you said before, they've got so much to build off of, and people who, like yourself, where the fuck, if you open up Overwatch, where do you begin? There's 30 something characters. Where do you even start? Yeah. Open up Marvel Rivals and I like this character. I like this guy.
Yeah, like you already know them, like they're household names.
Yeah.
So it's just accessible for people as well.
Very.
But speaking of household names, if you grew up in our time period, guess what's coming out?
Yeah,
which has been announced by Netflix. It is Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with Power Rangers.
Oh, no, I was getting there, but I thought Happy Gilmore 2 was a nice little segue. But Power Rangers could have went Power Rangers. I can see your mistake. Happy Gilmore 2, I reacted to the trailer. I was a little bit late to it. I don't know how I missed it. I was like, bizarre. I knew it was coming out. I just didn't actually see the drop of the trailer, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. It looks, how the first one, it was like super unique. It was like the peak of Adam Sandler. It came out in the time of like Billy Madison and all those ones. And it was just fun because it was just so outlandish. He was poking fun at that high society of like golfing. He was just being Adam Sandler in that sort of situation. And this one, I don't know if it's going to live anywhere up to the hype of the first one. Like the trailer doesn't feel
funny.
No.
It feels more like a family movie.
Yeah, it kind of feels more like we should bring this back just because we can.
Oh, of course.
It doesn't feel like this is a passion project of Sandler's. It just feels like, here's a heap of money. Let's try and bring this back.
It's all of these reboots, though. It's one thing. I actually think I failed to mention it last week when I was talking about Mickey 17, but like, in this world, all we're getting at the moment is just reboots and rehashes and reanimated, and like Mickey 17 was something finally fresh and different. Like Happy Gilmore is 100% a product to make money.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant about it. Like I'll watch it and I'll be kind of excited about it, but it just, I don't know. I don't think it's going to hit the hype. But another thing that is expanding the universe is we've seen John Wick. I've seen all of them. You've seen at least 1 and 4.
Yep, that's literally it. Pretty good.
But yeah, John Wick is expanding the universe. He's actually going to appear in the spin-off, but the spin-off is going to be focusing on the ballerina. So it is taking place between chapters 3 and 4, and it is called The Ballerina, which is Ana de Armas. So again, yeah, close. If there was ever going to be a female James Bond, I want it to be her. I think she is incredible. I'm a big fan of her in action films. I reckon she looks great in this. I think it's in good hands, the ballerina, based off the trailer. John Wick feels like he's the end boss. When you're in a game and you're like, oh, this is gonna be the end boss that I'm gonna fight.
Yeah,
he feels like that. Like it feels like it's like it feels like it's captured the environment and the feel of John Wick stuff. So I'm keen for it. Yeah,
I am too, actually.
And, you're actually excited for it.
Yeah,
no way.
It looks pretty fun, and I think it's the right direction for like the franchise, based on what I know anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll do really well. Another one that I think will do really, really well is we've got a little bit bigger sneak peek of the Devil May Cry. So during the week, we got a snippet of the villain. So the main villain, so what they've done with Devil May Cry is they've gone, we're not doing super canon, we're just taking the bulk of the games and we're going to like do whatever we want. So it's not technically canon in the lore of Devil May Cry.
Oh, right. Okay.
Where originally from the trailer, I was like, this is pretty much Devil May Cry 3, because at the end we get to see Virgil, and then Virgil is the brother of Dante, and they have their back and forth. And I was like, oh, this is what's going to happen. But we actually see the rabbit, who's the demon villain of the story in this Netflix anime or whatever you want to call it. He actually gets the sword of Sparta, so he gets one of the swords, and you see the ruins on it, and he's got that sort of like, I want to say Norman Osborn kind of vibe. Like he's sort of more pompous, a little bit like self-righteous. Like he spills the beans and is like talking his way through it. Like it looks pretty cool. I'm excited for it. I reckon it's going to be cool.
Sweet. Interesting that it decided to go non-canon though.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because it gives them more creative freedom with the story.
True. That's true. Yeah. But do you know what else has just come out and is getting absolutely butchered by the critics?
No. Oh, Snow White?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Snow White is now out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be good timing, because if we can watch, if I win this week and we have to watch it next week, then it means no one has to pick it and lose that week, because it's a bit of a tank, because we have to review it. That's, but it feels like we're kicking the teeth if it's your pick for the week.
Oh, mate, it's a guaranteed loss if it's your pick.
Yep.
But circling back, we forgot to mention Disney are rebooting the Power Rangers series.
Yeah. So sick.
Which Power Rangers have one of the most interesting, like, backstory of how it, like, all sort of came together.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy that it was a Japanese TV show. And then they were like, no, you know what? We're just going to take your action scenes.
Yep.
And then just make our own random
Ridiculous
story.
high school drama.
And then just cut to this already preset.
I was explaining it to someone at work. Late last year, it was national. Just because in one of the classrooms I work in inclusive education, they have on the board like National whatever day. You know what I mean? Like National Pie Day and whatever. And one day it was National Power Rangers Day. So I wrote on the board, and one of the teachers in there was like a 60-something-year-old woman. And she's like, what's Power Rangers? I was like, holy shit, you know what Power Rangers is? So I explained the premise to her and how it's this Japanese show that they refilmed the people scenes and then just used there. And you can tell, when you watch it back, you can tell the quality change when it goes between the two. But and the body types change. And when you're a kid, who gives it? Like, you don't even notice. It's fucking awesome.
No, especially with our rear projection TVs. No one noticed.
Yeah, no, fuck no. The old CRTs, no way.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I named my first cat Tommy after the Green Power Ranger, who then went to the White Ranger. Yeah, he was cool. It was like, oh my god, there's a Power Ranger that's evil, and then I was like, I don't know. It was just like,
it was a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
When the first one, when the green and white were introduced, it was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, there's more than just the 5 basic colors. Cool.
I didn't even get that far. I just thought he was cool because he could like solo him. And he was just like a badass.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of reboots, guess what action hero is getting a reboot? Again.
So it's already been rebooted.
I reckon it has, yeah. Oh, no, mate, I got a spin-off.
Not sure.
It's a one-man army. He's an action hero.
I can think
Jason
of
Bourne.
Oh, sure. I've seen no Bourne movies.
Yeah. I quite like the Bourne movies. I just don't like their action scenes where they went to like 0.5 of a second for their fight scenes and it's just shaking cam.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
lazy.
He just gives, it was like, it was new and fresh from the first one. I was like, oh, that's a really cool take, but it makes me feel a little bit nauseous every time I see an action scene.
Yeah. But
it's fine.
Get motion
But then everyone was like, hey, this is the new way to do it. And it was like, quick, everyone go free shaky cam during an action scene and let's reduce our cut times. It's like, I can't even see what's happening.
Mm-hmm. I always think back to the first, I know it's a completely different change of pace and like not all the same movie, but the first Transformers, I have no fucking idea which Transformer was good or bad in the end fight scene. It's such a mess.
It's just, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen none of the Bourne movies, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah. This one is a future we will watch, but it is getting released in 2029, which is a little bit way away. Yeah, it is Coco 2. I actually really enjoyed the first one. So Coco, I actually quite liked.
I haven't seen all the way through.
Oh, really? It's good.
One of those movies I've seen so many chunks of. I know the entire thing, but I never actually sat down and watched it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a little bit light on for the movie news, but we do get I'm going to say friend of the show because we always review her Christmas films.
Oh, hell yeah. Lovely Lindsay Christmas movies.
Yep. It's not a Christmas movie this time. She is teaming up with Jamie Lee Curtis again. And we are getting Freakier Friday.
Yeah. That's been talked about for a while. That trailer came out a while ago, right?
Last week, I believe.
Oh, okay. There's a new one then.
Yeah. But this time there's going to be a 4-way body swap rather than just the 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the premise.
Yeah.
Comes out this year.
So it's gonna be interesting. And that's it.
I've got a small piece, mainly for me, but less so for you. But the new Black Mirror season comes out on the 10th of April.
Oh,
For the first time, they're doing a sequel to an episode. There's an episode called the USS Callister, which is like a Star Trek sort of thing. There's more to it than that, but it's not worth going into in detail. But they're doing a sequel to that for the first time. They've never done a sequel to any episode ever.
Okay.
The Black Mirror community is very excited because it's one of those beloved episodes that everyone who watches the show loves the episode.
All right. Do you know what? I do recommend that people go watch.
Mm-hmm.
It is Blue Lock, the anime. My God.
Yeah, look, I've heard great things.
Like my son was watching it before, and I stopped everything what I was doing, and I was just like, was captivated. It's like the end of season 2, where it's the Blue Lock team versus the under-20s Japanese team. And it's back and forth. And I'm like, I kind of know the outcome, but like seeing them overcome all their different things, playing to their strength, I was like, dude, you got to skip the ending. I don't want these ending cutscenes. Get to the next episode. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, it was like,
I've heard that the animation goes downhill the further the show goes on, but gives a shit.
Yeah, like during the inner beast or whatever, like like Beyblades, how like when they let them rip, there's like
an animal inside.
They have inner demons where it's like they're having the thing behind them where it's like a demon or a whatever behind them, and it's like. But it's like it's super cheesy, but it's super like, I'm all about it. It's just I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And you can see like half their face, and like it goes further the more like they unleash their inner like potential and stuff. Oh,
sure.
Yeah, I'm
just
all
a little
about
side note. Did you ever watch Crush Gear Turbo?
I remember it coming on, like Cheese TV or whatever, and then. I don't think it ever really took off that much. Like, I don't think it got a big proper run.
No.
And then he kind of just disappeared and no one was talking about it. So I was like,
But it was at the era where we didn't have much access to anime. So, like, whatever you got, you watched. And I liked Beyblade enough to want to watch Crush Gear because it's the same basic premise but with wheels instead of spinning tops.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
It was no Zoids. It was no Beyblade. But it wasn't bad.
Is that the one that's kind of looks like a little bit like a beetle?
I suppose they're like little cars.
Orange and grey. Was that a different show altogether?
You think of Metabots?
I think I'm thinking of Metabots.
Metabots was sick too. I actually really like Metabots.
Yeah.
The games were fucking awesome.
Yeah, right. I love Zoids. Zoids was amazing.
Yeah, Zoids is absolute peak. It's one of my favorite shows.
So like the original Zoids was good, but that just became like the contest of the week. But then Zoid Century
New
Fusions.
Century actually came out before. Fusion was like, garbage.
Like Big Cloud, and then the one that followed.
That's Chaotic Century.
Was it Zeke? Where it actually had
that's New Century. New Century actually was made before Chaotic Century,
really?
but the first one that we got was Chaotic Century, and then we got New Century after.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I actually like Chaotic Century more with the Lag Zero and all that because I don't know, that's the one I watched the most.
Right, I just enjoyed the continuing storyline where it was like he's fused with the Liger, and it was it was just that
organoid.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. The Zoids Legends game on Game Boy Advance. I played that game probably as many times as Pokemon Gold.
Right. I've played it twice, and because I didn't have it on the handheld. I had an emulator.
Right.
I played it back in uni, and I got to a certain point where you fight the big one, and then my save file, you had to do some like load in an extra port or something or other to get past it. I could never be bothered doing it. Yeah. So every emulated one that I had always did it, and I was like, it could
be the final boss too, if that was the blood dragon. Could be the final boss.
The big one where it was like 3 of you against the one.
Yeah, it could be final boss potentially.
Might be. I could never get past it even after.
So it's not, the ending's kind of lame.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. We should probably get You should really get into it. I'll be
like
here for
anime.
ages. I do, yeah.
All right, my picks are going to go first this week.
There's
watched,
also after you go. Did you ever get into card captors?
I love card captors. Obsessed. Sakura card captors.
I can't understand the rules of the game.
There's no rules of the game. She used cards to. She didn't battle them.
But then it became like there was. Is it the same one? Is that the one that was the card game afterwards?
No, there's no card game in card captors.
There was another one that came
Jewel
after
Monsters?
Yu-Gi-Oh. No, Jewel Monsters is Yu-Gi-Oh, and then there was another one that was Card Fight. Or it is Card Fight, eh? It was another card game.
Card captors was Sakura card captors. It was almost like Sailor Moon.
Yeah, Card Fight Vanguard.
Vanguard, sure. I never watched it, but I've played the game.
I don't understand the rules, and I couldn't pick it up from the show.
The rules are fucking dumb. I had a student teach me, and the first time he taught me the rules, I was like, all right, let's go. And I versed him and beat him, and he's like, oh, picked up pretty quick. I'm like, honestly, I have no idea what's happening. I just did what seems basic, and that was enough to win. Like, the game makes no fucking sense. Oh, it does, but like, also, there's layers to the rules. Like, you can play with basic rules, and then anyway. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh, I suppose. It got silly and ridiculous, but yeah, I didn't like Vanguard either. But no, Card Captors was incredible. Sakura Card Captors. I've been trying to find an English dub of that for so many years. Absolutely loved it.
Okay, that's
all right. No, you're fine. We watched Adolescence this week. As much as Reimann thinks so, I just pick things because they're the number one highest reviewed things or whatever. I follow lots of people on TikTok and YouTube and stuff who review and talk about new things that come out. And this was one that was discussed by a guy I really like called
ReimannTV.
Yep, sure. His name is Kit Laser, and he does his YouTube's called Movies of Therapy. And he recommended this and said it's shot really unique and the story is really compelling. I was like, sweet, I'm keen. And I watched it in a day, like it's only 4 episodes. I had a day off work on Monday, and in and out of like appointments for my broken hand, I watched the whole thing on my phone, more or less. Anyway, loved it. We'll get there. So this story, when a 13-year-old is accused of the murder of a classmate, his family therapist and the detective in charge are all left asking what really happened. The draw card on this, and sort of the thing that is like, the unique aspect of this, is that it's shot as if it's one take. There are no camera cuts. The camera doesn't, shot reverse shot. It's all filmed with the camera following the characters and sweeping around them as one long take. I did some research, and there isn't much really out there that like confirms whether or not it would be a true one take. But there's a part in episode 2 where a boy jumps out a window and the camera like follows him, and he goes through like a glass window. So obviously there's a cut there. So I'm guessing they just use like camera tricks and whatever else to hide cuts, because doing a full 1 hour without a cut would be a logistical nightmare.
So that episode 2, they filmed it in a real school. The people that were the main characters were like obviously actors, and then the rest of them were actually people in the school.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can tell.
Apparently, as soon as the camera moved, it was like the teachers trying to usher all the kids away and everywhere. Like apparently it was a nightmare for the school, but they did quite a good job with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to film this, because you see characters. Obviously, when you tell a story, like especially a TV show, or movies too, when you've got multiple stories happening, you need to go back and forth between them. But when you're not cutting between locations, you've got to find ways to do it. So something I did notice a lot was like a character would find a reason to leave a room, and the character would storm out of the room. The camera would follow them, and then while they walk past another room, the camera goes into there. Like they did that a few times in the school episode. but it's fine. You've got to find ways to make it work. So I was okay with it. It is probably the one of those things that did sort of bring it down from a 5 anyway for me. Ooh. But yeah, first episode literally starts with our 2 cops who go to a house. There's like a SWAT team bursts in this kid's room. He's shitting his dacks. Well, pissing his dacks, literally.
Yeah.
And pardon me. And he is arrested for murder. He and his dad, who is Stephen Graham, who we saw a couple weeks ago in 1,000 Blows.
Who is actually a creator of the show. I was
about to say, yep, one of the writers and creators of the show. He plays the dad. He goes into the interrogation room along with their lawyer, who's just like a, provided by the department sort of lawyer. And this kid is more or less questioned back and forth. And the climax of the episode is they show the footage of this kid beating a girl and stabbing her to death.
I reckon they shouldn't have shown the video.
Okay.
Where it was like, I would have thought, well, for the overarching is that scene where they showed the video. I wish they left it out because it was all like, there was all that back and forth, like, did he really do it? But like, you've seen the video, like,
yeah,
there's no black or white. And then there was this whole picture of like, Netflix let you know he did it with the first scene where it was like, he's like, press up and it looks like a knife with the wallpaper. Sure. I'm like, you just saw the video of him, like it was
40 minutes later. Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so like, if you're trying to do like that more psychological, like, is he going to back his son, etc.? Like, is there that sort of, we're looking for a murder weapon, etc.? But it was like, you've already part and parcel with this like case, it's signed, sealed, delivered. Like, you've got the visual representation of what happened. It was kind of like, well, why are we having this sort of back and forth?
We got. What I like though, and to counter argue that, what I like though is that it's not a true crime show about who killed her. It's why he killed her.
Yes, I know, but like,
it's sort of discovering, because it's not how, it is how he did it. It's not the actual killing part that was the how. It's the how he did it. How did everything lead to that? Where this young boy who grew up in a nice neighborhood without a druggy mum and without a violent dad and all this other stuff, which are, the checklist. He grew up in a good household and still ended up murdering someone at 13. So that's the how.
Yes, but there's always that back and forth with the kid and the dad. So with Jamie and Eddie, it was like, did you do it? Did you not do it? And he's like, he's so adamant. And then in the 4th episode, like, do you get there? But it's kind of like, why? I was like, we already know this.
Yeah. I guess it's also like that parent's denial of like, I can't believe that my kid could do this sort of thing. Because we know, as an audience, we know that he did, but even though the dad saw it, the kid was swearing black and blue at the end of the first episode. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I don't know how they got that footage. It wasn't me. Like, he still swears to his dad that I didn't do it, when literally there's video evidence that proves it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I was just like, okay. I know where they were trying to go with it, and I get it, but I'm just like, well, I feel like it would have been a little bit more interesting for me if it was like they didn't have that. It was like, here's lots and lots of evidence that you were definitely guilty. I would have preferred that with like the psychological with the father.
Sure.
Better than that. But like,
but it's not a whodunit. It's not the genre.
I know. Well, it does say mystery technically, and it wasn't really a mystery.
Yeah, because it's a mystery of why he did it. That's the mystery.
Yeah. Give me a little bit of both.
Okay. Episode 2 takes place in the high school. It is our 2 detectives, D.I. Bascom and D.S. Misha Frank. She's been in an episode of Black Mirror. He is also, I think, a Black Mirror episode, maybe. I recognize him from something, but I couldn't necessarily figure out where from. But anyway, irrelevant. They spend the whole episode walking around the school trying to talk to people. They try interviewing a girl who was friends with the victim. She's all angry and pissed off that, you know, things aren't going fast enough and no one's been arrested. And there's another kid who's being questioned. Turns out Jamie's friend... Ryan, thank you. He supplied Jamie with the knife, which was a kitchen knife. So, like, Jamie could have got his own kitchen, but it's whatever.
Yeah, but because knife crime is quite on the rise in the UK as well. So it was like people are carrying knives around.
Okay. But
so
why couldn't he not use his own knife, his own kitchen knife?
Because he didn't plan that far ahead. So like they were wandering around. Ryan carries it because those guys are being bullied, etc. It was like, this is his protection. So Ryan was taking it for protection, and then for whatever reason,
Ryan already had it. My bad.
Yeah. So like Stephen Graham's trying to really showcase that knife crime is quite a big deal at the moment. Like these things can happen, which this is actually based on 2 different cases of similar.
Yeah. In this episode, we also start getting hints of like the way that kids are communicating online and the language they're using and the way the emojis have more layers to them than what adults think, etc., etc. We learn that Sarah has been pretty much bullying Jamie. And a lot of her and her friends, she was sort of the ringleader, but a lot of her friends are calling him names online and calling him an incel and what other, was it incel, something else? I forget. But yeah, episode 2 ends with finding out that Ryan gave him the knife. Episode 3 is the most shoebox episode where the entire thing takes place in one room, more or less.
Which I was interested to see how they were going to do with one cup.
Yeah, I think it plays it really well. I thought it was going to be, as the episode kept going, I'm like, this whole episode's going to be in here. It didn't feel that long. I thought it would have felt really long in comparison to the rest, but
I think that's in part to the acting, though.
Yes, definitely.
This
actor from 1,000 Blows, Aaron Doherty.
Yeah.
But the kid's great. Yeah, we haven't mentioned that this kid does a fantastic job, and he's not even an actor. He was intentionally grabbed so that you wouldn't have preconceptions of the character and playing good guys, bad guys, whatever.
Yeah, like he was so good. Whether you were like, is this kid like a psychopath, or is he like, where's he gone from there?
Yeah. And the whole episode is with Bryony Ariston, played by Aaron Doherty, and she's like a psychologist, something like that.
Yep.
And she's interviewing him to sort of, see how he ticks and to see why he's sort of done what he's done. And he slips at one point when he says that he killed her, and then has this big free. You made me say that, and I didn't do it. But again, we at this point already know that he has done it. So
yeah.
But great episode. She's also she's good in 1,000 Blows, but she's very sort of felt like pretty one-dimensional, maybe two-dimensional. In that one episode alone of this show, she goes through so many different emotions, from being in control to being scared to, just being able to go through everything. She's great. She's so fucking good at this.
Yep. Agreed.
And the last episode, which is my favorite, is all the perspective of the family. We don't even see Jamie in this episode at all. This is like episode 2 as well. But in this episode, it really follows Stephen Graham. This takes place 13 months after the original arrest. And it's Stephen Graham's character, the dad, the mum, and the sister sort of living their life, and they're being harassed still. Someone graffitis his van. It's his birthday. He's trying to stay really positive. They go out to like to a Bunnings, a warehouse, whatever, like a tool place, to get some paint to cover up the graffiti, and he has like a mental breakdown because he's getting harassed by kids there too. And it's just, this whole episode is about how an event like this can affect the family, but also it's showing us how different he and his sister are. The last line of the show, which I think is really powerful, is Lisa comes upstairs, the sister, to see his parents crying, and Lisa says, like, you know, I'm with you, we'll do whatever we can, whatever. She goes downstairs to help with breakfast. The dad says to the mum, how do we make her? And the mum says, the same way we made him. And it's just like a really powerful moment of these kids grew up the exact same way, but with different sort of social and online interactions, and how it pushed one into one direction and one into the other. The pet families take a lot of the blame, but they also, you know, aren't to blame.
Also, the end scene's pretty powerful as well.
Yes. Oh, Stephen Grant. I said it last week when we watched 1,000 Blows. He's so fucking talented. He's such an underrated actor, and he in that last scene that you mentioned, just like heartbreaking. I sat there after it finished and just stared in thought. You know what I mean? Like, he's so fucking good.
Yeah, I had to go play Marvel Rivals because I was like, this is too heavy. I need to get these feelings away from me.
Yeah. So, the TikTok you sent me earlier. Yeah, crying away from me.
Yeah, I was like, crying's over there, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, he says sorry to the teddy bear that's in Jamie's room, which is the metaphorical stand-in for Jamie to say sorry about where he's gone, etc. Like, it's just... Yeah.
And it's that guilt, like, really, he had nothing to do with it. It wasn't his dad's violence or his mum's drinking or his family having no money or anything that caused Jamie's downfall. It was just all the circumstances outside of that, and him being bullied. And there is, which I'll raise it now, and you and I have been discussing this during the week, there is some like talk about toxic masculinity and, you know, boys being called incels online and stuff, and they laid on pretty thick because this is aimed at people who don't have any context to, like, you and I are pretty exposed to it because of our jobs. Yeah. But for people who have no context and whose kids are in school and they have no idea what the kids are doing online and stuff, that's what this is aimed at. This is aimed at those people who are dum-dums and ignorant.
Yeah, like there was, I think it was in episode 2, they make reference to Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
I was like, Andrew Tate hasn't been relevant for quite some time.
No.
And it was like, okay, yeah, cool. You've just put that out there because it was like Andrew Tate is taking over the UK schools and all the males are now following Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like whatever. Andrew Tate plays a character. Like he's a character. It's just ridiculous that that's taken over and they're still referencing him where they can't move on. And it was just so much about like toxic masculinity. You and I have had many conversations about it. I'm like, I honestly don't believe there's toxic masculinity. I believe there's toxic people. And then you have more masculine people, you have more feminine people. But regardless, if you're a toxic person, you just...
toxic masculinity means... Toxic masculinity is people, mainly men, deciding how men need to behave based on being a man, what it means to be a man. That's why it's called toxic masculinity. It's nothing to do with men being toxic.
That's what I read it as, mate. That's what I read it as.
That's what it means.
It is. There's toxic people. There's masculine people. There's feminine people.
Yes, but that's not what toxic masculinity means.
No.
You know?
No. I had this random conversation, right? This one's so bizarre. And it was this random... I'm trying to make sure there's no like names or context in there. But there was this point where someone has said that all males should sit down to pee. And I was like, that's going to be a hard sell. I don't know how you're going to do this.
You mean me?
No. That was. You didn't say this.
No,
I was
I haven't said that all men should sit down to pee. I'm just saying it's more hygienic, and that I do.
And I was like, that's gonna be a hard sell, mate. Like, I don't know where this is going. Like, is that technically being toxic? They're saying that you're forcing people to have to sit down to pee.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Just, that all men have to sit down to pee.
Is that toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
Is it? Are you saying like you got to be a man? No, because it's the opposite. People say that sitting down to pee makes you less of a man because that's what ladies do.
It's just more time consuming. Like, you got to sit down rather than just stand and away you go.
Yeah, but I'd rather stand up. Sorry, my lights are dying. I didn't realize. I'd rather sit down and be hygienic than, spend a little less time in there and risk getting pee on my pants or hands.
Yeah, right. Mate, I'm in the autonomous skills phase of this, mate. I'm not in that associated phase where you got to think about it. I don't know. It's late. I don't want to have this debate because I take it literally, as in that it is, toxic masculinity or whatever. I don't care. Let's move on. Otherwise, we're going to be here like Mickey 17 and we're going around in circles forever.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, let's cut to the chase. This shit's good.
Yeah. Episode 2 is its weakest. I got a little bit bored in episode 2.
I agree. And I think it's the one where the filmmaking is most obvious, like them intentionally doing certain things, like having people leave certain rooms, go into other rooms. And it's the one with the most moving parts, but also comes across the weakest.
Yeah. I was like, okay. It's because like the first one, as it's all unfolding, you're like, oh, that's all cool. Then there's the big reveal, which is like pretty impactful because the dad's like, oh my God. And it's just there. I was surprised that Jamie picked his dad as his like person because there's not there's not a lot of reassurance going on as well. Like there's an obvious barrier between the two of them. Kind of
I'm wondering if it's because he didn't want to let his mum down, because he knew deep down that he did it.
I don't know. I didn't see many interactions with Jamie and mum though. Like it didn't seem that there was many. The only time that I can like actually recall is on the phone call in episode 4 where like it's just he's ringing to talk to his dad and then she's like, oh, hi Jamie, I'm here too.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was like, oh. And then it was kind of like, cool, phone call ended. I was like,
yeah.
How much interaction do you actually have with your mum?
A bit unsure. Especially because she was saying, like they made it clear that he's closer to his mum.
Yeah.
His dad works a lot and whatever.
True. And this is also another like Reimann random nitpicking. There's a point where Eddie, the father, was like having a full breakdown in episode 4 and he was like saying that he was taking Jamie to like sport to try and like, I don't know.
Toughen him up.
Yeah, toughen him up. And then he was like, but he was bad. And then he put him in goals. I'm like, why is goalie being put down as like
the easy position?
I was like, what do you mean? Like, if you got a bad goalie, like,
so much pressure on him too. You put him in like, fucking right back, where
left back or right back.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a weird. He was just bashing anyone who's in goals. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like goalies are a split decision like position.
It's
like
tough.
you have,
and there's so much mental game around being a goalie.
Yeah, I was like, that's a weird. Why are you bashing goalies? That was bizarre.
Leave goalies alone. Can't see them.
I was like, come on, mate, what are we doing here? And then I sat on that for a while. I don't know why.
Fixated like you do.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Whatever. I sat on that.
Look, it's shot incredibly. Acting is insane. Like we've said, episode 2 is probably its weakest. I don't think it falls apart because of it, but there are moments where you're like, I can see, I do feel a little bit taken out of the episode when I'm starting to notice things that they're intentionally doing to progress that one shot thing. But I don't think that detracts from the overall experience. I fucking loved it. And again, we talk about shows that are trying new things and that are trying to be different. And as much as it's still a true crime show, we get lots of them. It's not a whodunit. I think that's to its merit, as much as you would have probably preferred it. It's saying a lot, and it's about the families. It's not like they even said in episode 2. It's not about the criminal. It's about everybody else involved. It's about the detectives. It's about the families. It's about the investigators. It's about the psychologist who's interviewing him. We get to see so many different perspectives of who's affected by this one kid's actions.
Yeah. You also didn't get what happened to Jamie afterwards.
No,
so they were like,
he was going to plead guilty.
You got the phone call, and it was just like, I'm going to change my thing to guilty.
Yeah,
and then we don't see Jamie again.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I did look up one of the original cases that this was on. Also saw a TikTok on it. One of these cases that they followed it happened in South Croydon, and they got 23 years sentence.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I can imagine this being similar.
Yeah, and then there's another case, but I can't remember what that one is.
Fair.
I think it's similar. But that one, he got 23 years, still serving currently.
Right.
Yep. But I do agree. It's shot incredible. The acting's amazing.
Yep.
Everyone in it does really, really well. It's the back and forth. Even because I've never normally. It's very Americanized in terms of like the lawyers that come in, and there's always like you get the court case and they're like objection, rah rah. But like seeing the court-appointed attorney come in and be like, "I've got no notes," just dealing with it and being like, "This is what you need to answer."
Yeah, it's true.
And I was like, I've actually never seen that before. And like even them going into like little rooms and seeing them being actually processed, like the actual extent that the processing goes through, rather than like turn left, turn right, here's your profile pictures, you're in a cell.
Profile pictures?
Is it profile pictures?
Mugshots?
What are they called? Mugshots.
I like profile pictures better.
Yeah.
That's way funnier.
Same. So like there was all those little bits where I was like, that's kind of cool. I've never seen that. And even being like, you're the appointed person, it was like, in you go. And he's like, don't talk for him, etc.
Before we do our ratings, I just want to hear, because I've heard this compared to Baby Reindeer, not obviously story-wise, but in terms of what it's trying to say and how late it is and how like, conversational, blah, blah, blah. Where do you stand on this compared to Baby Reindeer? Do you like Baby Reindeer more? Like this more?
I liked Baby Reindeer because it was so bizarre. Not the guy I wasn't that interested in, but like trying to understand her like mentality. I was like, you are so bizarre. Like it's insane. And like her kind of helping him become like good at comedy and stuff, like her I guess like setting off the crowd, like laughing, and then it was like, oh, you kind of feel for her, and then you're like, nope, you're batshit crazy.
Yeah.
It was like, that was cool.
I think the journey in like the character you're introduced to and the character you see him as at the end is a totally different person through Baby Reindeer. Whereas I feel like after episode 1, you sort of understand all the characters.
Yeah.
Straight away.
And then watching her in real life, I was like, this is incredible. Like seeing her come out of the woodwork and getting the spotlight, and then like just going on. Like I enjoyed that more than actual watching the show. I was like, this is insane. Yeah, this is far more impactful. So I started this on Thursday, and I sent you a message after the first episode, and I was like, this is a bit heavy for a Thursday. So
which I don't know what that means, because like what day would be better to be less heavy?
Just I wasn't expecting it to be so heavy. I was like, wow,
it really is.
So like it's this was more impactful. Like I obviously was putting myself in like Eddie's shoes, being like, what if this is my my son or my daughter, etc. It'd be like, it's like, oh, this is hitting home a little bit. Like you're putting yourselves into those shoes. Yeah. So I like this more than Baby Reindeer.
Ooh, okay. Because let me remind you, I looked it up. You gave Baby Reindeer a 4.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where do you stand on this?
4.6.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, like it's really good. The acting's incredible. Stephen Graham is fantastic. Jamie's incredible. Owen Cooper, he surprised me. Like his interview scene, just incredible. Episode 3, I was like hooked. I was like, normally I get a little bit bored with those ones unless the people are absolutely insane, or it's it was like, it wasn't even a cat and mouse because you already know he was guilty, but like seeing him just try and like work his way around it and see his outbursts and stuff as well was wow, that's incredible. And just seeing, what's her name? Who was the psychologist?
The actor is Aaron Doherty.
Yeah. Watching her go from like happy conversation. I hate everyone's theory about the half sandwich. I'm like, surely there's
I didn't actually read that. What was the psychological thing behind that?
To make, and the hot chocolates to make it like a safe, comfortable environment and remind him of home and stuff. I'm like, why is it a half a sandwich? I'm like, you guys are they were just clickbaiting the article.
Same with that whole tear in the wallpaper thing. Like,
I was like,
maybe.
That's annoying. But also, why are you giving him half a sandwich? That feels really weird. Did you eat the other half? Like, what happened to the other half? Like, what did you do with it? And why is it cut in triangles? I don't like my sandwiches cut in triangles.
You don't?
I like it. Nope. I like it straight to the middle.
No, I like triangles.
Nope.
Because your first bite is like straight into that pointy bit, and you can get such a good bite into it.
Nope.
No, I'm a triangle fan.
Nope. Puts all the ratios out. I don't like it. Because then it's too. No, it's too much. Because like if I want just the middle, I can then bite, and then I can get some crust in there. And then if I'm in the middle, then there's too much of the middle part in there, and then I have to go to the side, and then it just puts all the. Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it. You're a monster.
Okay.
You're a monster. I hate it.
No, triangles where it's at. You're missing out.
Or you can cut it in fours. Fours I will also accept.
No, fours is insanity, because then you don't get enough of the middle. Because if you eat the whole outside first, you want to have the last middle bit with no crust. You don't get that if you have it in quarters.
No, because it's only 4 bites if it's cut in fours.
Exactly. You only get 1 bite of the center.
Yeah, and then you get it all.
No, garbage.
No, you're a monster.
No, not a fan of that at all.
No, monster. So I don't know.
I'm going to join you with a 4.6. I don't want to give it a 5. I think there are aspects that took me out of it a little bit. And it's, I think to be a 5, it needs to be something that's really pushing the boundary of what like television is. And I know that production wise it does. But that's, there's not like Poor Things is fucking a whole new experience. I've never really experienced anything like that. This doesn't do that. So yeah, I think I was going to say 4.5, but I think you're right. Like it's a little better than that. Yeah. 4.6. I'll join you on that one. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Take it away.
Novocaine, boom, 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 the Reimann pick of the week. This is a dark comedy, a one-person army action superhero. I wouldn't call him a superhero, but action comedy thriller. Dun, dun, dun. Starring Jack Quaid, who you would have seen in The Boys.
Yep.
So he
more recently for us, Companion.
Oh yeah, he was in Companion too. That's true. That's true. So this is when the girl of his dreams is kidnapped. A man incapable of feeling physical pain turns his rare condition into an unexpected advantage in a fight to rescue her. Bom, bom, bom. So this doesn't really change the format in terms of where these type of films go. But our main star, Nate, he's just living his life. He works in a bank. He is infatuated with Sherry, so he plays online games with his best friend, his only friend, Roscoe. And yeah, so he's having communications on the game with him. So Nate's infatuated with Sherry. They have like the back and forth, like sort of flirting. He then finally gets the courage to go on a date with her, and then confesses to her that he can't eat the pie because he has a rare condition where he can't feel pain. He has to set a timer to go to the toilet, which becomes a running gag a number of times. Yep. He has never eaten pie because he doesn't know if it's too hot or not, so it could burn his insides, etc.
No, that's not why.
No? Because he can bite his tongue. That's right.
Yeah, and bleed out.
Yeah. I forgot about that one. But, could also be too hot. He doesn't know that.
He does mention hot, cold, but wasn't the reasoning,
So it's pretty crazy in terms of like thinking someone has to live like that.
Yeah, it's a real thing. CPAP.
Because you imagine like having to do your temperature checks and all your different pieces and make sure you're not like dying, etc.
Yeah, because you could break bones and not even realize it and shit. Yeah.
So it's kind of adds a little bit of an interesting twist in it. And then we get all of a sudden a bank robbery. They come in, and then Sherry gets taken, and which sends Nate on a quest to go and save her or rescue her, which then leads him into all these different situations which he gets to overcome because he can't feel pain. There are some bits, twists and turns. The twist with Sherry gets revealed way too early.
I agree. I would have liked to have been revealed when he finds out.
Yeah, like it was annoying that we found that out, and I was like, oh, okay. Because once you find that out, she's only ever in two categories. Like she's not evil enough in terms of like bad guy status, and then she's like, or she's in that realm of she's kind of just in this situation,
caught
but
then
So,
but also. You don't then feel his motivations anymore, because part of you has a bit like, oh, when he gets there, he's going to find out that she's actually a bad guy. And what you want from his journey is for him to reach the girl and save her. That's what you're waiting for. But they take that away by revealing that she's part of the bad guys so early. Should have been a twist later when he's like, she's my sister, and Nate's like, oh, that's when we should have found out too. And be like, whoa, crazy.
Yeah, that should have been like at the final confrontation. Yeah, like when he actually says it. But no, he got revealed way too early. It was annoying.
Totally agree.
I found a number of the fight scenes interesting early when it was like, oh, he can't feel pain. This is how he's going to beat him. So like his body gets absolutely wrecked. But there's a point where he's like reaching for the gun passes hands a number of times. This is like one of the first big fights, and he puts his hand into the oil to pull out the gun, and his hand gets all like just absolutely
oil burns.
Oil burns. And I was like, that's really cool. Like it's a little bit different. I haven't seen a fight where all of a sudden they can't feel pain.
It was very fun. The fight scenes were very entertaining.
Even the torture scene where he was like had to pretend he was being tortured.
Oh yeah, that hurts.
Like it's unique enough to keep you like entertained. Like it was enough variety, but it didn't do anything exceptionally new or exciting for that part.
No. I like the fight scenes because it's, you got this lovable character who's just sort of bumbling his way through stuff, and the only thing that makes him special is that he can't feel the pain when he's getting hurt. So he just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and he's still a nice guy the whole time. When he's fighting the first guy, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and he's like apologizing mid-fight and stuff. There's a charm to it. I enjoy that. He's a pretty interesting journey because by the end he's like a bit of a badass, and I didn't mind all that.
Yeah, like it was better than I was thinking it was going to be. I thought this wasn't going to be as good. Like it was a enjoyable ride, but unfortunately it does not sort of reach any new heights for me. Like
no, I enjoyed it though. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was better than I was expecting. I was just with
they go hard. Go on. Sorry.
With the outlandish like trailer and the promos and stuff, I was expecting this to be like more balls to the walls.
Oh, sure.
Than it was. Okay. Yeah.
I had no idea what this was, going into it.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, I saw the trailer. I saw like all the promo pictures, and it was like, oh, this is going to be super outlandish. Kind of like No One, and what was the Scarsdale one that we watched where his voice was like a video character on. Boy Who Kills the World.
Boy Kills World. Something like that. Yeah.
I was expecting it to be that level, but it never hit that. Like it was almost trying to just parody some things, but it wasn't like balls to the walls kind of action comedy.
I don't know. I probably still enjoyed this just as much as Boy Kills World. I think as past this, I enjoyed more. Like Boys Kills World probably has more ridiculous, fights and things like that. But I enjoy the simplicity of this story. It's just girl gets kidnapped, man tries to save girl. Like they didn't. I liked Boy Kills World goes into like reveals upon reveals and layers that they tried to be way cooler than it was. This knew that it was a dumb act. The first song that we hear, you get the intro of him getting ready, is Everybody Hurts. Like they're literally poking you in the nose going, get it. I'm okay with that. Like that's what, to me, made this better.
Yeah. I just reckon they probably could have gone a little bit more extreme with parts. Like you got a man that cannot feel pain, but I guess he can still die. Like he's not.
I mean, in the end, his arm gets snapped off at the wrist, and he kills someone with his fucking wrist bone.
Yeah.
What more would you want?
I don't know. I was just in my mind. I'd already set this up to be like ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Whereas I didn't come into this with any preconceptions, and I think I liked it more because of that.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. I liked action comedy garbage more than you by the sounds of it.
Yeah, you did. It's also didn't open very well with the box office. It's only just hit its 10 million. Where also Jack plays the same character. Like he's virtually the same character in The Boys. Like his mannerisms and stuff. Like he's
whereas I'm impressed at how different he was to his character in Companion.
Yeah,
he's this lovable little nerd in this, and Companion is a fucking piece of shit, and I couldn't wait for him to die.
Yeah, like he's very similar to Huey in this one from The Boys. So I don't know. I really like The Boys though. The Boys are such a good show.
Yeah, I've tried to watch it a couple of times.
Yeah, you gotta like commit to it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Just simplicity, goes through, enjoyable fight scenes. It reveals the twist too early. I would 100%. recommend it to people. Like it went for an hour and 50.
It's 100 minutes.
Yeah,
hour 40, which is fine.
Yeah, So like would give it a 3.5.
Okay, so you gave, I looked it up just a second ago, you gave Boy Kills World a 3.
Yeah.
So you must like this a little bit more then.
I did.
Okay. I'm at a 3. I think I gave the same rating I gave Boy Kills World. It's just as good in some aspects and worse in others. Like it's a fine, entertaining movie. But it's something special. It's fucking action schlock. It's super American. The amount of times characters said the line, I reckon if you counted the word feel, how does it feel? How many feelings, something about feelings in this fucking movie, you would have made your gross budget.
Right.
It's just, but that's the point. It's silly. It's action schlock. It's a 3. It's good at what it is.
Also, old Jacob Belanton, however you say his name, which is his mate that he talks to online, which is Roscoe. Yeah. He is being typecast as the friend consistently because he is Spider-Man's friend, Ned.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yep. Old mate is always the friend.
Spider-Man's friend. As in the new Spider-Man, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's Ned. Yeah.
Oh, yes. He's the guy who's playing. He's in like his room, in the dorm room, playing Spider-Man on the PlayStation.
Correct.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So he's the friend.
Yep. He's just the friend. That's his role.
That's it. That's all he gets to do.
His character in this is pretty fun.
Yeah, he's pretty fun as Ned too in the Spider-Man films.
Yeah. He reminds me a bit of wasn't there in the original, how are we on Transformers again, twice in one episode? In original Transformers, didn't Shia LaBeouf have like a friend sidekick character? Am I thinking of a different movie? Who was like looking things up and like good at computers and stuff. Am I thinking of a different movie now? It's not important.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, that means you win.
Means I win, what do you call it, round 1? Or like fight 1?
Yeah.
I'll add some woo sound effects here and look at that.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ring the bell.
Here we go.
I don't know what to watch. I'm not sure if we watch something that I've already seen that I know you're not going to enjoy, or do I choose something that I actually haven't seen that I want to experience with you, or do I choose something that I'm going to surprise you and be like, you actually might like this, even though it's art housey? I don't know.
That's your choice.
And hopefully you can watch Snow White this week because it's the perfect week for it.
Yeah, you can pick it.
I can pick it.
Give me a
Snow
lead.
White's my punishment movie.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. We'll keep you posted. You know what to do. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple Music, make sure you give us a 5-star rating. And if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And all we ask is that you tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Whoop, whoop.
And we'll see you guys next time, boys.
Love yous.